Hello, everybody. It is Monday, March 22nd, and this is our reading for today. Okay, so we have a new theme this week, a new big idea. The big idea is how to classify and categorize things. So, our stories this week are going to be stories about like sorting things, putting things in groups and sorting. Okay, so let's look at some of our vocabulary words. First word we have is classify. 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 To classify is to sort or decide what group something belongs in. So if you had some shapes and you were classifying circles, you'd put circles in the circle group, squares in the square group. Startled. You feel startled when something suddenly surprises you. So Pam was startled when the door slammed. Okay, startled, like, oh, it scares you kind of. Organize. When you organize things, you arrange them in a certain way. Let's see. So example, Sal tried to organize the dolls by lining them up from smallest to largest. You might try to organize your room, or if you have a desk at home, you try to organize it, put things together that go together, make it nice and neat. Entire. Entire means the whole or the complete thing. So Kip was so hungry that he ate the entire sandwich. There was nothing left over. And distinguish. To distinguish is to understand the difference between two or more things. I can distinguish between Mindy and her sister Patty by their hair. So you can tell the difference between two or more things. Okay, so our story this week, it's a really cute one. You might know it, probably. No, I know you're going to know it. It's retold, of course, but it's called Goldilocks. So this one's not called Goldilocks and the Three Bears. This one's called Goldilocks. So I think things are going to probably be sorted or classified in our story. Think about what could be sorted and classified. What's different in this story each time? Or even in this picture. Organize. Tall, shorter, little. Papa, mama, baby. Once upon a time, 3 bears lived together in a cozy cottage. There was a teeny tiny bear, a middle-sized mama bear, and a great big papa bear. The cottage was organized perfectly for 3 bears. They had all they needed, and they were very happy there. One morning, the 3 bears made porridge for breakfast. Mama bear poured it into 3 bowls. There was a little bowl for baby bear, a middle-sized bowl for mama bear, and a great big bowl for papa bear. "This porridge is too hot," said baby bear in a soft little voice. "It is very hot," agreed mama bear in her nice medium voice. "Let's go for a walk while it cools," said papa bear in his great big voice. So that is what they did. While the bears were out walking, a girl named Goldilocks came upon the cottage. Since no one was at home and the cottage was so inviting, she decided to go in to look around. Once inside, she saw the 3 bowls of porridge. "How hungry I am," she said, and sat down to eat. But which bowl of porridge should she eat? She decided to try each bowl to distinguish which was the best. She tasted the porridge from Papa Bear's great big bowl. "Ouch!" she cried. "This porridge is much too hot." Next, she tasted the porridge in the middle-sized bowl. "Ew!" she said, putting the spoon down. "This porridge is much too cold." Then she tasted the porridge in the little bowl. said Goldilocks. "This porridge is just right. It is not too hot or too cold." And Goldilocks ate the entire bowl, the whole thing. You remember what she does next? After she ate, Goldilocks went into the living room. She noticed there were 3 chairs. Just like the bowls, the chairs were classified by size. There was a great big chair, a middle-sized chair, and a little chair. First, Goldilocks sat in the great big chair, but it was much too hard. Next, Goldilocks sat in the middle-sized chair, which was much too soft. Finally, she sat in the little chair, which was just the right size. However, as Goldilocks got comfortable in the chair, it broke. By now, Goldilocks was feeling weary, so she found the bear's bedroom. First, Goldilocks lay down on Papa Bear's great big bed, but it was too hard. Then Goldilocks tried Mama Bear's middle-sized bed, but it was too soft. At last she curled up on Baby Bear's little bed and smiled. It was perfect, and she fell fast asleep. Meanwhile, the bears had returned home and were quite hungry, so they went to eat their bowls of porridge. When Papa Bear saw his great big bowl, he growled in his loud voice, "Somebody has been eating my porridge." When Mama Bear saw her middle-sized bowl, she said in a regular voice, "Somebody has been eating my porridge too." And when Baby Bear saw his little bowl, he said in a quiet voice, "Somebody has been eating my porridge and it's all gone." And he began to cry. Next, the bears went into the living room where Papa Bear and Mama Bear saw that someone had been sitting in their chairs. Poor Baby Bear cried very hard when he saw his broken chair. The bears went to the bedroom where Papa Bear and Mama Bear noticed that someone had been resting on their beds. Baby Bear said, "Someone has been sleeping in my bed. There she is." Goldilocks woke up and was startled to find 3 bears staring at her. She ran out of their house as fast as possible and never came back again. Oh, that Goldilocks. I hope she learned a lesson, right? Not to go into anybody's home without first being invited and without knowing those people. But that is a story we've heard before, isn't it? Okay, so that used a lot of our vocabulary that we've learned this week. All right, so we're going to move on to the 2 vocabulary words of the week that we need to be able to read, and we'll be seeing them in our stories, and we need to understand what they mean. So, we have trouble. Looks like this goat might be getting into some trouble. What do you think? If you have trouble doing something, you have problems doing it. This goat is having trouble getting out. So he's having trouble getting out and he might get in trouble. Right? So he has a problem. So trouble can be a problem and it can be something you get into that you're doing things you shouldn't do also. Hole. And this isn't like a hole in the ground. This one has WH, whole. That means when something is whole, it is complete. Nothing is missing. So if you have a whole pizza, none of the pieces are missing. The whole thing is there. Entire. This whole barn is painted red. Except for the roof. All right, so we have trouble and whole. And those will go on my board, but I won't put them there yet. Okay, trouble and whole. All right, so let's look at that is not right. Hold on. Unit 5. Oh, yeah, that's right. Oops, my board hasn't been working up there. I have to use my mouse. I just need to look. Okay. All right, so this is more of the whole unit. Since we're starting a whole new unit 5, usually we get new reading books for each unit. But remember, your reading book now has unit 4, 5, and 6 in it. So this is the start of unit 5, and the whole idea of this unit is figuring it out, like learning about the world and making sense of the world around you. So here is a poem called My Shadow. I have a little shadow that goes in out with me, and what can be the use of him is more than I can see. He is very, very like me from the heels up to the head, and I see him jump before me when I jump into my bed. He gets in bed first, or she. By Robert Louis Stevenson. So your shadow is just kind of a fun thing, isn't it? The shadow, what makes our shadow? Yeah, the sun. And something that's blocking sun or light. Okay, so this whole unit is about just kind of things around our world and figuring things out around us. Okay. Oh, that's not going to work, is it? Because I'm having trouble, like I said today. All right, so let's look at this one now. Okay, so this is also in your little, in your little red reading book. So our weekly concept, see it, sort it. Essential question, how can we classify and categorize things? So look at what she's doing, mix and match. She's recycling. She's putting different things, the different garbage, into different bins so they can be recycled. Plastic, water bottles, and things like that. Milk jugs, cans, boxes, papers. Looks like containers, plastic containers, more cans, and bottles. Aluminum cans, okay? So sorting and classifying. All right, so let's look at, so before we do our story, well, those are going to be in our story. I don't want to go to there yet. We're going to look at our word wall words for the week. Okay, so only, round. That's like this last week was found. Now we have round. Rhymes. 4, the number. Put. None. Look at none has the word no because there's none. No, none. I think of it that way. Large. And that AR is going to be our sound this week. R. Large. Large. Back to only. So let's look again. Only. Round. 4. Put. None. Large. Okay, and the 2 that are going to be on your spelling test, I forgot again. Okay, is 4 and none. So 4, the number, F-O-U-R. We're going to need to be able to spell that too. And none, N-O-N-E, none. All right, so let's get our little reading books. If you need to pause me, you can. And you're going to open to this page. Dun, dun, dun. So I want to go over our words. All right, so let's see. All right, let me turn it up.
4. A sheep has 4 legs.
That was so loud, it startled me. Okay, so the word is 4. And what did the sentence say? A sheep has 4 legs. How about this one? Large, large.
Large. We picked a large pumpkin.
We picked a large pumpkin. Aww, so cute. None.
None. None of the dogs has spots.
None of the dogs has spots. Turn that down a smidgen. Okay, how about this one? Only, only.
Only. This sheep has only one lamb.
This sheep has only one lamb. Looks like found, but it's round.
Round. A tractor has big round wheels.
A tractor has big round wheels. Remember that one? Trouble.
Trouble. This goat is having trouble getting out.
This goat is having trouble getting out. Yes, and he's making trouble, I believe. And hole.
Hole. The whole barn is painted red.
Okay, so one more time. Let's look at those green bars. 4, large, none, only, put, round, trouble, hole. And yes, I missed this one, didn't I? Put, oops,
Put. We put the best peaches in the box.
we put the best peaches in the box. All right. Okay, next page. And this you have gone over or will go over for, oh goodness. Sorry about that. You will be going over that in phonics. So this week our letter sound is AR for R. I'll just play this part right here.
A-R. The letters A-R can make the sounds you hear in the middle of barn.
Okay, so R, and there's large. Okay, so this is from our story. So let's hear what the words are in our story.
Your turn. Look for these words with AR in a barn full of hats. Barn, farm, smart, marched, yarn, apart, Clark, large, barnyard.
Okay. If you want to pause me and practice those, you can pause me and practice those. All right, here we have a barn full of hats. Is this realistic fiction, do you think? Is it realistic? Sure doesn't look like it, does it? No, the genre is fantasy.
Genre, fantasy. Essential question. How can we classify and categorize things? Read about how some farm animals sort hats.
Okay. So it's called,
A barn full of hats.
and together, A Barn Full of Hats. And we have Clark's Farm. Check out the picture. Okay. All right, I'll play it and then we'll just read it together. I know I can't hear you, but we'll just read each page together. Hold on 1 second. Okay, I don't know if you could tell I had to pause for a second. All right, here we go.
One day, 4 farm animals found a box in the barn. They opened it up. What was inside? Hats, hats, and more hats.
Okay, our turn. One day, 4 farm animals found a box in the barn. They opened it up. What was inside? Hats, hats, and more hats. All right, page 2.
Look at all those hats. Who wants one? Asked Hen. I do, cried Horse. It's smart to wear a hat. A hat will keep the sun out of my eyes.
Look at all those hats. Who wants one? Asked Hen. I do, cried Horse. It's smart to wear a hat. A hat will keep the sun out of my eyes. Wear's kind of a hard word, isn't it?
Hen stuck her head in the box. She pulled out a flat, round hat. Try this hat, Hen told Horse. No, that hat is too flat, said Horse. A flat hat makes a good nest, clucked Hen. So she took the hat and she marched away.
Okay, our turn. Hen stuck her head in the box. She pulled out a flat, round hat. Try this hat, Hen told Horse. No, that hat is too flat, said Horse. A flat hat makes a good nest, clucked Hen. So she took the hat and she marched away. Well, it would make a good nest.
Pig pushed his head in the box. He pulled out a bright red hat. Put on this hat, Pig told Horse. No, that hat is too red, said Horse. A red hat looks fine, grunted Pig. So he put on the hat and he marched away.
Okay. Pig pushed his head in the box. He pulled out a bright red hat. Put on this hat, Pig told Horse. No, that hat is too red, said Horse. A red hat looks fine, grunted Pig. So he put on the hat and he marched away. Is Horse ever going to find a hat?
Cat poked her head in the box. She pulled out a thick yarn hat. Try this hat, Cat told Horse. No, that hat is too thick, said Horse.
Horse is kind of picky, huh? Cat poked her head in the box. She pulled out a thick yarn hat. Try this hat, Cat told Horse. No, that hat is too thick, said Horse. Okay.
Thick yarn is nice, said Cat. I will take the whole hat apart so I can play with the yarn. She dragged the hat away. So many hats, but none for me, sighed Horse.
Thick yarn is nice, said Cat. I will take the whole hat apart so I can play with the yarn. She dragged the hat away. So many hats, but none for me, sighed Horse. Oh, oh goodness.
Just then, Farmer Clark came into the barn. His hat was large and floppy. If only I had that hat, said Horse. That hat will shade my eyes. Horse grabbed the hat in his teeth.
Just then, Farmer Clark came into the barn. His hat was large and floppy. If only I had that hat, said Horse. That hat will shade my eyes. Horse grabbed the hat in his teeth. You think Farmer Clark will let him keep it? Let's see.
Farmer Clark laughed. He put the hat on Horse. It stayed on with no trouble. It fits well, Farmer Clark said. Horse trotted to the barnyard. Clip, clop. He held his head high. Yes, this is the hat for me, said Horse.
Farmer Clark laughed. He put the hat on Horse. It stayed on with no trouble. It fits well, Farmer Clark said. Horse trotted to the barnyard. Clip, clop. He held his head high. Yes, this is the hat for me, said Horse. Well, he found one. He sorted through those hats and found one. Look at barnyard. What kind of word is that? Yes, compound word. Barnyard, barnyard. All right, let's go over our words again first before we talk about tomorrow. Ready? For, none, large, only, round, oops, put, and back to for. All right, well, let's look at I forgot, tomorrow I won't have a video, so we better look at this real quick. Okay, so we talked about point of view before. Point of view is the way that a story character thinks or feels. What a character says helps you understand his or her point of view. So let's look at Horse. Horse was the character, and it thinks it's smart to wear a hat. So his point of view is he wants something to shade his eyes from the sun. Hen takes the hat to use as a nest. So her point of view is she wants to find good materials for her nest. And what did Cat want that hat for? The yarn, right. She liked the hat of thick yarn because she wanted something to play with. They all had different points of view. Okay. So for tomorrow, I want you to reread A Barn Full of Hats. Oh, I burned it. Barn Full of Hats again tomorrow, and then I need you to do this from your workbook. Oh, again, I forgetting that's not working today. So this one in your workbook, it's page 211. It should be right in the first page, and then the one behind it, which has our new word wall words. Okay, so those two, and then send this picture to your teacher tomorrow, and you're going to reread the story. Okay, and then I will have a video again on Wednesday. All right, have a great day. I will see you Wednesday. Bye.